This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hello, it's Danielle Fishel.
Ryder Strong.
And Will Friedle from Pod Meets World.
Does Friendly have a taste? If it does, it's probably like Hello's peppermint-flavored anti-plaque and whitening toothpaste.
Brush away plaque, show tartar who's boss, and remove surface stains to naturally whiten.
Hello's thoughtful and flavor-forward products make brushing your teeth feel like a confetti-filled bathroom dance party.
So say hello to Hello with the always cruelty-free, never tested on animals toothpaste that's made to spread smiles.
Visit HelloProducts.com and let Hello add some everyday yay into your life.
Talk about stepping up! Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Get ready to laugh out loud. Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias is bringing his comedy tour to Treasure Island Resort and Casino, live September 6th and 7th. Don't miss your chance to see one of the world's funniest comedians. Get your tickets today at ticasino.com.
Final hour kicks off here 9 to noon. First day at the Minnesota State Fair. And PA is on his way. He is departing for a third preseason game in Nashville. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out in the Meshbesher and Spence fan stands. Joining me now as part of this full hour, voice of Golden Gophers football and basketball, Mike Grimm. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can get a round of applause for Grimmer.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And longtime sideline analyst, Gophers football, and as well women's hoops on the mic, the Vox, and of course producer, sidekick extraordinaire, bumper to bumper with Dan Barrero, Justin Gaardsy's here as well, ladies and gentlemen. And I needed your help today because they mostly are here to see you, but head coach of Golden Gophers football, PJ Fleck, making his annual appearance. And so I didn't want to let him down. I needed intel, I needed insight, I needed expertise.
Talk to the wrong guys.
Well,
yeah, he probably would prefer you asking him questions at this point.
You know what? For the next hour, we're going to fake it until we make it.
No question.
But I can't appreciate you guys enough for hanging out with me. We got Vox heading down to get strip search for the security for the plane, and I wanted to get two of my favorites here to check Gophers football for a final hour.
Looking forward to it. We're a week out. week from tonight, season opener, Buffalo comes to town, 7 o'clock kickoff, and Gaardsy's been studying the two deeps and been watching the all 22, and he'll have some great reports that night from the sideline.
It is wild how you wake up and you're on Como Avenue, Nordo, and it's day one of the fair, and then you just know, like, football is also right around the corner. It's weird. I feel like nothing has happened in the last year, and here we are again at the fair.
No, it's cool, and it can be cliche, but we do it every single year. It's the Como clip. It's you're dealing with all of that, but it does truly bring football into the air. And I'll ask you this, guys. Again, this is why I brought the experts, because I got some stupid questions for you. The way that I look at it, as focused as I've been on the purple, it feels like there's a parallel here in terms of, for the Vikings, we were talking about it last segment with Dane Moore, thanks to his inclusion as well, but the idea that a season hinges on a QB. And you can talk about that with the Vikings, but now Drake Lindsay in town, taking the baton from Max Brosmer, that in some ways that would be a parallel to PJ's squad.
100%. I mean, you've got Drake Lindsay, who threw 5 passes last year, starting for Minnesota, and you're hanging your hopes on him. And you've got J.J. McCarthy, who I don't know how many preseason passes he threw, but it wasn't many.
Right.
And he's never thrown a regular season pass, and you're pinning your hopes there. So I think absolutely it's a parallel. And I even go on the other side as well. I think there's some questions if you were to pick a spot of maybe concern for the Gophers. It's who's going to win those 2 starting cornerback spots, because that is really a key to the way they want to play defense. If you got guys that can cover, that changes things, and they had guys that could cover last year in Justin Wally and Ethan Robinson. And I think the Vikings are a little similar, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be starting on the outside, and how's that going to work? And if they're good, this team can be really good.
No, they absolutely can. And, I'm curious, though, we will harken back here. Hey, how about we do this?
Yeah.
We don't want to make the head coach wait, do we?
He's ready to roll here.
PJ Fleck has arrived on site here at the Minnesota State Fair, and we are live in Carousel Park in the shadow of the grandstand 9 to noon. We got Pizza Wagon in the mix. It's an absolute party here in the grandstand. We're going to pause and come back, and after this break, head coach PJ Fleck will be in the booth with us. It's Nordo in for PA, final hour, 9 to noon on the Fan.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Welcome back, 9 to noon, Minnesota State Fair, Carousel Park, and the photo line is rolling, gentlemen. A true celebrity. Now, the tough thing for all these wonderful fairgoers and Golden Gophers faithful is they got me and Gaardsy, a couple of sacks sitting in the back here of all these great photos that fans of the Gophers football program are taking. Ladies and gentlemen, they're taking photos with head coach of Golden Gopher Football, PJ Fleck. Let's give it up for the coach.
All right. Good to see everybody.
What
a day.
Yeah.
What a day. What beautiful weather, first of all. Unbelievable.
Well, we were talking just before you showed up, Coach, that this is, all things aside, first day of the fair, and this is a tremendous tradition at this point. Really appreciate you giving us time and coming out every year as you do. But this kind of rings in football season. Now, you've already been after it, but you know that a week from today, kickoff 2025 season's in the air. Do you feel that at all when you're hanging out with Rovnak and company and you're on your way to Falcon Heights?
Yeah, the more I talk to these guys, the closer it approaches.
That's true.
So we don't talk much in the offseason, which is great at times, but I do miss you.
Separation's good.
Yeah, it's good for us.
Everybody.
Yeah, separation might the heart grow fonder.
Allegedly.
Right? So, yeah, allegedly. But no, it's right around the corner. Obviously, a week from tonight, we kick off against Buffalo. So our guys are working really hard, brought the whole team to the state fair, gave them a little money. It used to be illegal to do all that stuff.
Yeah, now you can.
Now you give them a little bit of money, and give them a ticket and let them enjoy the fair.
And I always get a kick out of their reaction, especially the out-of-state guys who have never been here. And I'm sure for some of them, when you say we're going to the fair, they're probably like, oh, man, what are we doing? And then usually at the end, they're like, can we come back? Can we come back Saturday? Can we do this again? Can't wait till next year?
I think our players who have been here do a great job of telling our players how great of a state fair this is. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I think that, we have a lot of kids from small towns, and you go to your small town. I used to go to the Kane County Fair and the Sugar Grove Fair and the Sugar Grove Corn Boil.
Was there a street dance in the mix, maybe?
Yes, there was. At night, yep, right there by the pizza shop. There was a little dance in the street. It was great. So people's version of a fair isn't the Minnesota State Fair.
Right.
And when they come here, they are shocked how big it is. And I think that's the biggest key is they don't get to see it all because they don't even know all the wings. So we started to help them with maps. That way they can dictate where they actually want to go, spend the time in certain sections because we only give them about 2.5 hours to be here.
Well, and I know you make them visible, too. It's not like they roll in here and they've got the sunglasses and the hoodies on and nobody's talking to them. Like, they've got Gopher stuff on. Like, you want them to be as accessible as you just were, basically taking 50 pictures before you jumped on. It's a cool thing for them, I would imagine, to be out in public representing the U.
It's awesome. And they love representing you on a national stage, our state of Minnesota, the University of Minnesota, at the collegiate level. They're very honored to do it. Everybody's watching them. And I think that's what's so cool. That's why we always give them the shirts. Everybody knows who they are. True story, funny story. I'm not sure if this is true, but this is what I was told the other day. Coach Nickel and I do a walk every morning, our strength coach, on our field. So we're waiting it's called Team Coffee right before that. So we're doing our little walk. There's a guy in the corner of our facility yelling through the little padded pieces of our practice facility. And this is around 6 a.m. This guy must have really wanted to talk to me. So he's yelling my name. I go over there, and he's like, Coach, I got one thing for you. I'm like, he's going to tell me a play. He wants a run or pass on game one. He's like, I just want to tell you, years ago, I brought my son, he was a little guy at the time, to the state fair, and one of your big guys knocked him over. And Coach Nickel and I were like, is he serious?
Yeah.
Is this a joke? It didn't really go anywhere but that. And I just said, hey, we'll look into that. I'm really sorry. Hopefully he was okay.
Do you think he was mad about it still?
mad enough to talk at 6 a.m.
It'd been bugging him.
It definitely was on his heart. And so I did tell our guys, avoid the little kids today.
Yeah, don't
avoid the little kids. Watch yourselves. But our players you can see them coming from a mile away. So.
Well, all the way back, now 9, this is year 9 for you. The first time you came here, you mentioned you had the Kane County Fair and all of that. What was your first thought when people in the athletic department said, hey, you got to take the team out there and you got to go out there and do radio shows and different things? And then how did that meet up with what it turned out to be like?
Well, for one, I grew up in the old state fairs, as I told you, and the county fairs. I never really went to the state fair, but I went to the county fairs and town fairs. But I've always enjoyed being around as a head football coach, being around our community, being around all of our supporters of our state, being around all of our ticket holders, and just being around the people that we actually go play for and represent on a daily basis when we get to the season. So that's really exciting to me. I had no idea it was this intense, this big, and this organized, and above all, clean. It is unbelievable how clean this state fair is, and there's a lot of people that need a lot of credit because of what they do every single day. The volunteers, the people who are working here, it's truly remarkable. I mean, it is by far one of the most remarkable fairs I've ever seen.
You can come back Labor Day and see if the clean thing holds up. You're here day one every year. We do a lot of damage here over the next 10 days, but you come out at the right time.
You come out at the perfect time. And is this good at this stage, whether you're grinding on practices and you're losing sleep over how you're putting game plans together and just kind of building this thing, the ability, at least even if for a day, just to turn all that off? Just come and be an enjoyer of food, the chance to catch up with fans, kind of a little bit of a breakup into frivolity, if only for a day.
Yeah, I mean, for 3 straight weeks, the only thing we've been doing is seeing each other and practicing against each other and going from 6 in the morning till 11 at night with our staff. We just gave our players off yesterday, the staff and players. That was our first big day off with nothing. And then today, we come out to the state fair for a few hours. We'll go back for some meetings, and then we practice tomorrow night. So we're treating tomorrow like a Sunday. We'll actually practice Sunday night in the stadium, which is what we normally do on a Sunday of game week. So I know it's not a true Sunday, but it's a Sunday of game week, the way that we break down our weeks.
And now fall camp was one thing, but now you're into what is now game mode. You said it's your Sunday. So I know you've had analysts and assistant coaches and different things probably since maybe the end of last year watching and looking and getting some background on Buffalo, but now it gets serious, right? Like starting tomorrow?
Yeah, it does. We've game planned them. We've got we're pretty much through first and second down game plan. This is a team that returns a ton of their starters. They're a really dangerous team, won 9 games last year, probably picked as one of the favorites in the Mid-American Conference. So, we've got to play our best. Our focus is going to be us. They're well-coached, really good, disciplined football team. But we got to play our best football, that's for sure.
They return quite a few. The MAC schools are more susceptible, it seems, right? If you have a really good player, a team might swoop in. You went and got a kid from Miami who's going to be one of your best probably pass catchers, right? And that happens. Buffalo didn't, for a team that was 9-3, they didn't suffer many losses that way. They returned quite a few guys.
Yeah, they returned, I think it's, if I get the statistics wrong, I think it's like half the team on offense and then 75% of the team on defense. They've got a ton of returning starters, a lot of all-MAC players. They're deep at a lot of positions. Pete Lembo's their coach, who I used to coach against when he was at Ball State. Really good coach, really known for his special teams work. So, again, we got a work cut out for us, but we're excited to play on Thursday night. It's not about how they play, it's about how we play, and we got to get our guys ready to go.
What are you excited about in terms of game one as the starter for Drake Lindsey, your new quarterback?
Yeah, just to be able to get it moving and going. He played a little bit last year, which I'm really thankful that we got him in there a little bit, just to say that he has played some actual football in the Big Ten, but just to get him out there and go. We've been talking about it all offseason. Now we just got to let him go out there and grow and fail and succeed and respond and do all the things that he's going to do for the Gopher Football program over the next 3 to 4 years. And I'm just excited for all of our fans to get around Drake Lindsey and get a chance to see him as a quarterback, but not only that, see him as the person that he is, because he's an unbelievable human being.
He told Grimmer and I about a month ago when we were down on campus during your internal media day that in January he felt like, because everybody knows about he and Max were basically, he was in the back pocket of Max. I call it the Brosmer cocoon that he was in last year. And now,
very safe place.
Exactly right. Just hang out with Max. Everything will be all right. And he told us that in January he comes back, all right, it's his team. Well, he's like Max Brosmer Jr. for a couple of weeks. And he says, I got to find my own style. Like, how have you seen him kind of find his own style and not just be Max Brosmer Jr.
Yeah, the great thing about our culture is it's very demanding, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually. It's very demanding. But the one thing it does, it allows players to be themselves, but it allows them to be the best version of themselves. I love our players being themselves. We want them to be themselves. But tomorrow I want you to be a better version of yourself in every area of your life than you were yesterday. And that's what Drake Lindsay's done a really good job of. He's not Max Brosmer. I don't want you to be Max Brosmer. I want you to learn from Max Brosmer, take habits and instincts that he had, create those your own, and then make it Drake Lindsay's. And I think Drake's done a really good job of that because Drake and Max are very different people.
Right.
They're very different quarterbacks. But I think that you can learn these instinctual habits through somebody that can fundamentally build your core of who you're going to be as a quarterback, whether it's your work ethic, your discipline, the way you prepare and watch film, and the way you go out there and ultimately perform on the field.
Now, through the last year, the ability to kind of learn and get to know Drake, what is it when you have the ability, whether it's over the course of a summer, an offseason, et cetera, just to see a guy who's not playing but still try to pick bits and pieces out of what you believe can translate onto the field? I think about with the Vikings and making that correlation of J.J. McCarthy's hurt, but he's there. He's in the building. He's soaking it in. You know, are there maybe something similar when it comes to Drake and understanding what he could potentially be when he gets that chance?
Absolutely. I mean, you're taking so much and you're giving it to him so early, but the expectation doesn't start off really low and then you're easing your way into it. It's a tidal wave right away, and that's from leadership, that's command in the huddle, that's response, that's situational football, that's all your technique, that's your early routines that you have to warm up. Those are all the things that you do, how you talk to players, how do you bring all these people with you. He is a multiplier. And what multipliers do is they multiply the talents around them, yes, but what they do is they're gonna want the person next to them to be better, like truly want that. The second thing is they're gonna make sure that person actually gets better. And you're not just leading the offense or the quarterback, you're leading the entire football team. The quarterback's expectation is to do that, and I think you saw Max do that. I think he had a year to get his feet wet that way of what that looks like, and then since January, we've been pressing him to be able to put himself in a position to be able to do that, and I think he's done a really good job at a very young age. Let's not forget, this kid's a redshirt freshman.
Right.
Yeah.
And
just turned 20, right?
Just turned 20. But,
wow.
Yeah, but when you're talking to him, you do feel like you're talking to a junior or senior already.
Man, I'm excited to see this kid. And we're going to get to see it a week from tonight. Let's do this. We're going to pause, and we're going to dig deeper into this football team who a week from tonight, we're going to watch them host the Buffalo Bulls. Excited for that. Head coach Golden Gophers football, PJ Fleck, sticking around alongside Gaardsy, alongside Grimm. I'm Nordo. Final segment, 9 to noon at the State Fair.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Annabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Annabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang!
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Is ahead.
Rock legend Daryl Hall is taking over the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand on August 28th. Tickets are available now for this can't miss show. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Segment 9 to noon live from the Minnesota State Fair. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for coming on the first day, by the way. You get all the good stuff. We still have grass. We still have places to stand and all of those things. It's Norderwin for PA. PA currently, I would say, midway through the strip search for plane security as he heads down to Nashville for a preseason game tomorrow night, Nissan Stadium.
That's
Vikings.
if he got out of here with the traffic. He might be still out here on Como.
That's a good
sitting in his car.
Now, the anxiety might be high for the host. I hope it is not. I'm hoping there's no anxiety for the head coach of Golden Gophers football, PJ Fleck, on site with us here.
Coach is never worried.
What are you worried about? Whatever your baseline is, Coach, I hope you're in a sweet spot. I want to start here, and then Grimm and Gaardsy, of course, will have some questions as well. This is purely Mankato Rube in me here as a Mankato West graduate, class of 02.
Very nice.
I'm old head now, of course, and I can't pretend that I've seen Jalen Smith play. But I got to root for my Scarlets, and apparently this cat from Cato is possibly going to be something, has the potential to be something. Can you tell me about this wideout, Jalen Smith from Mankato West?
Yeah, I love our whole wideout core this year. They're a very selfless unit. But this kid is really, really special. I don't think a lot of people know who he is, but if you could take Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman and kind of morph him, he has that type of ability. He is, again, he's a redshirt freshman. Our young players are getting better and better and better. And we're talking about the recruiting success we're having not only in the state, but just around the country. We're elevating, keeping the same type of person, right? The same fit, selecting the right kid for us. But we're also elevating the skill set and the talent of those individuals on the field. And Jalen is that type of person. And I can't wait for everybody to get a chance to watch him play. And when you're so excited about young players, you're not only excited about this year, you're just excited about the future as well. But with every game, he's just going to keep getting better. But he's got a lot to his game, whether it's the short, intermediate routes, whether it's the deep routes. He's really, really perfected his craft in terms of break points, releases in the offseason. He can really create separation quickly. So, and again, we have 3 or 4 other guys that are just as good. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But he's such an amazing human being. Did a tremendous job on the scout team for us last year. And that just shows not everybody walks in and can do what Coy Parrish did.
Right.
Sometimes people have to be redshirted, and then you're redshirted, and you can do that maybe your redshirt freshman year, redshirt sophomore year. Everybody's got a different path. But this kid is a special, special talent.
I'm really intrigued by, over the course of your tenure here in Minnesota, PJ, whether you mentioned Tyler Johnson and Bateman, I think about Chris Ottman-Bell, and it was tough to see with some injuries. Daniel Jackson, most recently, of course, rooting for him as he starts his very budding and early NFL career. But you identify in some of these athletes, including Jalen, like getting them from the high school ranks to college? What is that? You rolled through whether it's breaks, there's nuances to that position, and you found a ton of talent in those ranks, and you produced a lot of high-quality players in that process.
Well, the first thing that is, we don't necessarily recruit. We select and find the right fit. We can find 25 players from the West Coast to the East Coast, North, South, taking care of our state of Minnesota that fit us. And it comes down to your competitive nature. Do you have to play football, or do you want to play football? Do you value the things that we value? Are you playing football just for the money? Well, if you're playing it just for the money, somebody's going to offer you more money, and you're going to go somewhere else. That's a given. I'm not saying money's not important. If student athletes can benefit off of their ability to generate revenue in the NCAA in your school, then they should get paid. I'm all on board on that. But it can't be the only reason why you play. And if it is, you're going to be a very empty person, right? You're not going to be fulfilled at all, and you probably aren't going to go very far, right? And then when it gets really hard, what are you going to do? Ask for more money, right? So our players love to compete. They love playing the game. They love to play. And I think that's such an old school mindset when you're talking about the Coy Parriches, when you're talking about the Jalen Smith, you're talking about Drake Lindsay. These guys love to play football. They love to go out and play. They play anything. I guarantee right now, if you look at our players walking around, I'm sure the linemen are eating. But I bet you everybody else is playing the games. They're taking that $50 and they're looking to make sure they walk out of here with more stuffed animals than anybody else. They're competing on who can get the biggest one, who can have the most. That's what they're doing. I promise you, it's what they're doing. So when we're talking about that, you're always finding that competitive nature in young people. Do they have that, or do they not have that? And then you can start in that place and then work your way up.
Has outstate recruiting in your 9 years changed in terms of you finding players? Well, you mentioned Mankato, obviously Koizesko. You've got a kicker from Alexandria. Someone's coming from Jackson County in a year.
Detroit Lakes has the Carrier brother.
Years ago, back when we were growing up, those players may not have been discovered or found by a school that's in the city. How have you been able to kind of find and identify really the whole state to find guys?
Well, I think this goes back to when I got hired, and I said that what Minnesota needs is cultural sustainability. And I said, whether that's me or some other coach, Minnesota does really well when there is somebody here a long time. And I think that helps with kids in state. We go back to when I was first hired. I said the most important thing we're going to do is create the best little kids camp in the country. Now, some people are like, well, that's a pretty lofty goal, since if you're going to benefit off a 7-year-old, you're going to have to be here a long time. That's a lot of confidence, but that's what it's going to take. We are now recruiting kids and getting kids committed who were at our camp when they were 7, when they were 8, when they were 9. Most of the kids in the state of Minnesota play hockey. Well, I play hockey and football, but I want the kids that grow up in the state to love the Gophers. And when you come to our football camp at 7, 8 years old, I think it's the best camp in the entire country. We have more fun in that camp than we probably have all year as a staff, as players. And it shows what Minnesota is and what can be, instead of maybe just what you hear about it, or what you hear about it on the news, or you hear about it, whatever's happening. So we knew that we would have to almost dig backwards and say, okay, we're investing in that 7 and 8 year old kid, that when we do hit this and we are here long enough, we can start keeping those kids here. And I think that's been very, very beneficial for us, that forward thinking and really investing in that little kid's camp.
Well, and a guy like Drake Lindsay obviously is from Fayetteville, but when we talked,
he didn't come to the camp.
He didn't come to the camp.
He went to another school's camp.
Yeah, exactly. But he talked a lot about when he kind of understood college football, the 2019 season. Like, you guys were on his radar because of that. And again, if after 2019 you're gone or the program takes a dip, like, he's not thinking about Minnesota, but it goes to the same point, right?
It goes to the same point. The sustainability of a program is when people are along. First of all, let me just say this. Coaches don't give themselves extensions. We'd love to. That would be great. Coaches don't. What you have to have are people who are above you saying, we like what you do. We like what's happening internally. We like what's happening academically. We like the type of young people we're bringing into the program, and we like our results on the field. If you have better people, you can have better players, and you can eventually have a better team, and you have a better chance to go to the CFP. When you look at the new model, if you look back in 19, we would have went to the CFP in the new model, right? We would have been one of those teams. You look at what they're talking about projecting for the future, and maybe there's 7 Big Ten teams. There is a legitimate chance every year that Minnesota has the ability to do it. Now, not saying that it's going to happen every year, but We're talking about the ability to go play for a national title as the new world of college football continues to happen. That's why Minnesota has one of the best chances to do it, because we have really good people. We have people who actually believe that, have people who want to make Minnesota an elite football school. And we had a lot of players get offered a lot more money at other places that might be a more recognizable logo at times that turned it down to stay to make Minnesota a champion. And I think that says a lot about our players.
And from that standpoint, you mentioned 2019 and different things, the chance for a playoff of, it might get to 16 teams. Who knows with all the stuff that now is being reported.
24, 28.
Who knows where it goes. But, because it's changed. I think when you first got here, you're hoping, all right, you win the Big Ten West. That gives you a pathway to the Rose Bowl. It gives you a pathway to a lot of cool things. Those things are, there's still a Big Ten championship game, but it's totally a different deal now. If you make the Big Ten championship game, you're going to be in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. With you as a head coach now, because you've now sustained this thing, but we always talk about, okay, push through to the next one, push through to the next one. How important do you think it is that, yes, let's win 10 soon, let's get to a playoff? As you always talk about, you got to have evidence, and you've got the evidence from 2019. And so how do you look at that? I think you hit on this in Vegas a little bit when people were asking you, people get bored with 8 wins at Minnesota. That means or 9, right? That means you're doing something right here.
Get the number right.
It does. Yeah. It does. But it's it's raising the level of expectation, and that's the head coach's job. Ultimately, most head coaches raise the level of expectation if they've had any success and they've stayed. They raise the level of expectation almost to a point where they can't reach that expectation anymore, so they bring another coach in. We're rented, everybody. I'm a rented head football coach, right? There's going to be another head football coach one day at the University of Minnesota. I know that. So there's been way before me and way after me. So I know that. My job is to do the best job I possibly can to represent the state of Minnesota. Our players are the same way, but continue to raise the level of that expectation that we can do that. And it's not just talk. Our recruiting backs it up. Our players, the way they perform off the field academically, their focus of wanting that to happen. We have the top 5 most retention rate in the Power 4. When you look at that, that's crazy. And we don't have the highest NIL budgets. So it's constantly raising that expectation to saying we can do that. It's not just saying, hey, we're going to win 10 games or we're going to win 11 games. Because when you win 10, people want 11. Yep. If you had 11, they want 12. Just go ask Ohio State. That apple keeps getting that keeps moved farther and farther in front of people. But that's the chase. We're a process-driven program. If we can win the process, if we can continue to do all the right things, it can happen. It can happen. Right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time or just this year, but it allows the process, winning the process at an elite level allows you to have a chance to be somewhere where you want to be at the end of the year. And we've had a lot of chances where we're that close. We've done it. We've done a lot of different things. But I think as you continue to go, of course you want more.
Yeah. So from your perspective then, and I think about the Big Ten as it's expanded Power 5 into Power 4, and it feels like that's the path, and there's no putting toothpaste back in tubes. But what is that from your perspective in terms of building that identity? Culture so important to you over the course of your time here, and just moving forward, trying to in some ways differentiate or separate yourself. You want to have the best kids camp in the country. I liken that then to how I separate myself from some of the other schools in this Big Ten. Maybe culture is the answer, I guess, but from your perspective, what is it like creating that identity within a big conference?
Well, the biggest thing is creating any identity is being yourself. I have to be me. I think the one thing I can do better than anybody else in the world is be myself. Right? We all...
You have imitators, but there's only one you.
Yeah, they show up on the doorstep of Halloween. It's crazy. But I think I have to be myself. I want our players to be ourselves. We're authentic. We're genuine. We're us. Whether people like that or not, that's fine. They can have their opinions of that way. But I think for you to get to where you really want to be, you have to be the most genuine, authentic person you can possibly be. And this world is a transactional world now of college athletics. But we're still transformational. We are still a developmental program. 80% of our players are high school players, right? And even the players that come in from the portal, we still have to develop. So we take a lot of pride in that developmental, transformational life program, which I think more in the day and age of 2025 stands out even more than it does when you're just a transactional relationship type program. And I'm willing to adapt. I'm just not willing to change. I'm not willing to change who I am and what I core believe in about the student-athlete experience. We can create everything else of the new changes to college football into our program and adapt, but I'm not going to change who I am and how I run a program because this new world says we have to.
7 or 8 minutes left with the head coach. It's PJ Fleck, Golden Gophers football, a week from tonight, kicking things off with the Buffalo Bulls at Huntington Bank Stadium. Excited. Big thanks to Gaardsy, by the way. He had to bolt. Apparently he's got a makeup process before he does some TV next hour.
Needs to show early.
I think I'm doing to the same show. This is how you know you're not a very attractive man.
No makeup.
They didn't tell me to do any makeup.
Or they
didn't care.
Are you trying to say Gaardsy needs the makeup?
No, that was more of like me saying like they didn't need to even put it in. They don't really care. You know,
I think
the real celebrities, they want them to make
good.
look
We
good.
better fix Gaardsy up here. I think is where that's headed. But he is. You have your Fox 9 show coming up here, where you'll tape on site here as well.
I would like to come here one time though as a Minnesotan.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to the State Fairs in Minnesota, and I've come as a coach.
Just PJ.
Because you fill all my schedule up for 2.5 hours, you know. So
have you not ever come out just to roam around on your own?
No.
You need to do
a little
that.
busy.
Yeah, you got stuff going on?
Little stuff going on.
A week away from the game, you can't sneak out for a day?
No, I mean, all these fine people would like a victory next Thursday.
They would.
We have a job to do, you know. Other people decorate the gym.
Yeah.
They pick the DJ. The job of the football team is to win.
You win the game. You win the game.
I love that. And, you know, part of Drake Lindsay, like that's an A topic, of course, with this team, specifically with fans who just are super pumped to see Drake in action.
Yep.
A big part of what can help a young QB is a running game. How excited are we for Darius and the crew, you know, toting that rock and making some things happen on the ground?
I mean, RTB, baby, run the ball.
Let's go.
Right? Everyone's like, great. You only have 2 plays. You run on the inside and run on the outside. I really like our run game. This offensive line, we don't have any Daniel Fa'aleles this year. We don't have somebody who's 400 pounds that you walk out there, you're like, wow, is he just huge? They're 330 across the board, but probably our most athletic offensive line I've ever had in 13 years across the board. All 5 of them. When you look at us, we're probably 8, 9 guys that can actually play. But you look at our running back room, whether it's Cam, whether it's AJ, whether it's Feme or Darius Taylor, we've got a lot of guys who played a ton of football. I think a quarterback's best friend is a really good run game, as you mentioned, and I think you're going to see that in full display as we keep going through the year. I mean, one thing we love to hang our hat on is running the football, and that's what I believe. I always believe that. Some of the years we do it a little more than others. Last year with Max, we threw the ball more than we did in years past. We kind of threw it to run it. Mohamed Ibrahim had like 1 catch in 3 years, if you guys remember. He's the all-time leading rusher in the history of Minnesota. Last year, Darius Taylor caught 54 passes in 1 year as a running back. So you can see how our system adapts to who's actually the personnel on the field.
Stupid question is part of that, and I just think about like statistics play out, right? Like I just if I looked at every game log and every stat from you as a play caller, as a coach, and the offensive, maybe I see certain tendencies, certainly, and you love running the ball. What's that like in the moment, though, from like a vibe standpoint, where you just, how much is it from, you know, could it be shooting from the hip, or with a young QB, well, I got to get him 25 pass attempts a game, you know, the art form of putting that offense together week to week, knowing you got a young QB, knowing you love those backs in that room, and just kind of making that all work together.
Yeah, you're going into a game with a thought process of here's what I think the game's going to look like and how it's going to go, and here's what I think we're going to be able to do, and maybe where we won't have as much success. And then the game starts.
Yeah.
And then you adapt to the flow of the game. You adapt to how your quarterback's playing. You're adapting to how the run game is. You're adapting to how the defense is playing you certain schematics to stop whatever they're doing. You can get a feel, especially in the first half, of how they've game planned against you to stop everything. So you have to have the ability to have contingency plans built within. They could be big contingency plans. They could be small contingency plans. To be a balanced offense, you have to have the ability to win in the pass game. You also have to have the ability to win in the run game. That's balance. Balance isn't 50-50 to me. Balance is having the ability to win the game no matter what the defense takes away from you. And you have to be able to do that. And there's been years past we've struggled in some areas where we were maybe more one-dimensional, where this year I think we have the ability to win games, whether it's through the air or on the ground.
always in football, the underrated part seems special teams. Two of my all-time personal favorites are Mark Crawford and Dragan Kesic. They were stalwarts, multiple-year starters, all-conference players, kicker of the year, 1 year for Dragan. Both are gone now, so it's an important part of the game. What do we see in punting and kicking for the 2025 Golden Gophers?
Yeah, we have two kickers. Brady and Daniel Jackson from Alexandria, Minnesota. Those guys had a great competition. Brady won the job. Brady will be our kicker.
He's a Syracuse transfer.
He's our Syracuse transfer, yep. But he's kicked a lot of college in the ACC, kicked a lot of footballs in college football. Daniel Jackson's going to be a really special talent, this young man. If you watch anything in track, and in Minnesota high school track, I mean, I think he's one of the fastest men in the state. And when you look at him, I mean, he looks like a kicker. You know, he's 5'9", he's 150 pounds, but he can run and run. So maybe our fake game is going to be very interesting as we go forward.
Could he, in the same game, kick off and return a kick someday because of his speed?
He might be able to.
He'd be the only guy ever,
He's
probably.
pretty darn fast.
Yeah.
I don't know where that gets you in the kicking piece, but he's very accurate. There was a great battle between those two, the great teammates. On the punting side, our punter Tom from Australia has done a tremendous job, and then Brody, who we brought over from UCLA, has done a great job too. We feel like we have two really good punters that are in the mix too. So the diversity and the depth we have and the versatility, you could see all four guys at some point doing their job throughout the year.
Now, I know we're future focused here. We're moving forward towards Buffalo. But I got to ask you, with what we've seen from Max Brosmer as he is working with the Minnesota Vikings, he's in that room with head coach Kevin O'Connell, and they just can't quit this kid. And getting the chance to hear him in interviews, how smart he is, how passionate he is about the game. Is this something, and maybe dumb question alert, watch out, how much does it surprise you or not surprise you, the type of preseason and for an undrafted cat, just one season with you, but all the same, the chance to get to know him, what Max Brosmer is doing with the Purple?
It doesn't surprise me at all. At all. That kid's going to play in the NFL for 10 to 12 years. I really believe that. I've never been around a quarterback who processes the way he processes, is as confident as he is, understands the dynamics of the run game at the line of scrimmage, which is a huge piece of the NFL offense, right? And what Kevin does. Same thing with the pass game. Get him in the right protections, get him in the right plays. To do that as a rookie, and I think he's doing it at a high level, based on what I'm hearing out of the camps. Again, I'm not Kwesi, I'm not Kevin, but I'm thinking when you look long term, this isn't a kid that you want to just let go and let some other team develop him, and next thing you know, you're playing against him, because this kid's going to play a long time in the National Football League. What that looks like is going to be up to him, and you got to catch a ton of breaks in the NFL, we all know, and it's got to be the right time. But nobody works harder, and his poise and his smarts are off the charts. The biggest difference is a lot of young QBs have what he has. But the biggest difference is who can function in games, who can actually do it on Sundays or Saturdays of the preseason. And that's what everybody's evaluating right now. And right now, he's showing he can do it. And I think that's what everybody wants to see in all the rookies right now, is they're really talented in practice, but can you go take that and transfer it over to a game? And then the next step's going to be a real game. And then you go from there. But you've got to go through these series of steps, and I think all young quarterbacks who don't make it struggle in that area. They might have it in the classroom. They might have it in practice, but when you go play and you're playing a NFC North opponent, can you actually go function and do it at a high level? And that's what I think is the demise of quarterbacks and the rise of quarterbacks.
About 90 seconds left. Maybe one more from Grimm here.
I was going to say, because there's no Big Ten team that has a starting quarterback that can't throw. A guy's got an arm. Everyone's got an arm.
Everybody can throw.
But I thought last year the underrated part, because we took it for granted because it was just looked so simple, his decision making was always right. Like, he had 6 interceptions. I think 3 were tip balls. One was one where a receiver gave up on a ball, and maybe there was one out of every pass he threw that was the wrong decision. I mean, that's pretty incredible body of work he put together.
His processing of information is not normal. This guy also plays the guitar, can speak different languages. Like, the guy he's very eclectic, and he's an acquisitive kid. Yeah. He wants to know why. And there's it's all real. And you're talking about his leadership skills and taking the young people with him and being a face of an organization or a backup in an organization. I don't think there's anybody better than Max Brosmer, and I think he showed that with the Gophers in that 1 year. And I think his best football is still down the road, and it's going to be fun for somebody to develop him.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for head coach PJ Fleck, Golden Gophers football. Can't thank you so much. Can't thank you enough for joining us today with Grimm and JG. And
I really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys were awesome.
Always good to see you.
Yeah.
That's PJ.
Road Boat Sky Mile, go Gophers, everybody. See you Thursday night.
That's PJ Fleck. Thank you so much, PA, en route to a third preseason game. Dane Moore, Tatum Everett. Can't thank Grimmer enough. And JG for stepping in during the final hour. Thanks to all the fans out here, Mesh Pressure and Spence stands at the fair. The Grimm is next. KFAN.com, keyword store if you want to buy some stuff. But come and hang out with us at the great Minnesota get-together. I'm Nordo. Have a great afternoon. Common Antenna B around the corner. It's the Fan.
Today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge-of-your-seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.
Chances are you've been to the doctor recently, and you probably handed over your insurance, your ID, and even your social security number. Your doctor is just one of many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose your details, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code iHeart, or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Our partner, Eli Lilly and Company, just announced Duets for Type 2 Diabetes, a campaign celebrating real patient stories of support because managing Type 2 diabetes doesn't have to be a solo act. Share your story at mounjaro.com/duets. Mounjaro tirzepatide is an injectable prescription medicine that is used along with diet and exercise to improve blood sugar, glucose, in adults with type 2 diabetes mellitus. Mounjaro is not for use in children. Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or vision changes. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills, and before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and may cause kidney problems. Once weekly Mounjaro is available by prescription only in 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, and 15 milligram per 0.5 milliliter injection. Call 1-800-LILY-RX, 800-545-5979, or visit mounjaro.lilly.com for the Mounjaro indication and safety summary with warnings. Talk to your doctor for more information about Mounjaro. Mounjaro and its delivery device base are registered trademarks owned or licensed by Eli Lilly and Company, its subsidiaries or affiliates.